Hello and welcome to Irene the Educator. Today I present nurse-involved murders, fatal attraction, as well as murdered while pregnant. So today is a double feature. Although this case happened actually in 2013, the guilty person or the person accused was not tried or going to go to trial until 2018. But in 2018, he admitted to what he had done. So this is the case of the married doctor who killed the home health aide pregnant girlfriend. But before I get into those details of this case, I'd like to present the disclaimer as well as why I started Murdered While Pregnant. Thank you so much. Like, share, and subscribe. Hello, everyone. My name is Irene. Welcome to Murdered While Pregnant. I was in nursing school in 1989 when first introduced to pregnant women being at a higher risk of being murdered. This shocked all of us young nursing students. Surprisingly, this continues today, which is why I want to bring awareness and hope to save expectant mothers and their babies. Additionally, it is my hope that people seek mental health treatment instead of hurting others. Wall Street Journal reporter Nidhi Subaraman reported homicide as the leading cause of maternal death. Pregnant women in the United States die by homicide more often than they die of pregnancy-related causes, and they're frequently killed by a partner, according to a study published last month in Obstetrics and Gynecology. Researchers revealed this grim statistic by using death certificates to compare homicides and pregnancy-related deaths across the entire country for the first time. Today, I present these mother stories. Okay, I'm not going to get into what a doctor is because mostly everybody knows what the job of a doctor is. But a home health aide, I'm going to explain to you what a home health aide does. It's a little bit different than a CNA. A CNA is a certified nurse assistant, and they have certification in what they do. And a home health aide, according to AARP, is someone who assists the person with activities of daily living. Activities of daily living are things like bathing, dressing, eating, grooming, and moving from one place to another, toiletring, and cleaning up. And some of the other things that a home health aide may do is check the vital signs and assist the person with some of their small cooking, things like that. So that's one of the difference between a home health aide and a CNA. One of the reasons I am explaining what a home health aide does is because this is what Merceda Young was doing to provide for her children. One of her children, her young daughter, was born bow-legged and she had trouble walking. And this is one of the ways that she came in contact with her murderer, who was a doctor, when she went to seek treatment for her daughter's condition. So as you can see, bow legs are something that some kids grow out of, but other kids may have an advanced stage of being bow-legged. So you can read the description here to see. And her daughter had an advanced stage, apparently, because it was reported that she would have trouble walking and tripping over her legs, which again brought Merceda in contact with the doctor. As you can see on this picture, this is a mild case of being bow-legged, and some people may be bow-legged, or some kids are bow-legged because they start walking earlier, and some may be bow-legged because of a condition, medical condition, or just because of a physical condition that caused them to be bow-legged. And here are some of the serious conditions that you can read up on about being bow-legged. I myself is slightly bow-legged, but that's because I started walking earlier and it does not present a problem to me. Now, Merceda Young had dated this one guy, and she discovered that he had a history of being in prison, so she broke it off with him. But before I get too ahead of myself, I'd like to give a little background into Merceda Young when she was a teenager and what may have led to her later behavior in life. So, Merceda Young, she was raised in this strict Jehovah Witness house or home, and her mother had guidelines and just was very hands-on type of mom, trying to guide her children the right way. And the mom had rules, and Merceda rebelled against the rules of the mom. So the mom decided to put her into a group home in order to provide her more structured and more structure. And so she went to the group home and she graduated from there. And in group homes, they have some group homes have, after they go through it a certain amount of time or get to a certain level, they have passes. But the mom just felt that she had no choice but to put her in a girls group home to straighten her up with her wayward ways. So after Mercedes did her time in the group home, and of course the group homes are meant to stabilize the youth, and also return them back into their natural home environment, and that is why they are homes that fit into regular neighborhoods. They don't have a sign on them to identify them as a group home. But after Mercedes finished her time in the group home and she had matured, that's when she had her son and her daughter. And this is what brings her into meeting Dr. Jeffries, was again, like I said, to treat her daughter's condition of bow leg. And as you can see from this picture that you are seeing, you can see that this is how the group homes may look. And this could be your neighborhood, but there is no identification or identifying sign that, hey, this is a group home. And maybe the people within the neighborhood may know from word of mouth, or just seeing a lot of young people that may be of different ethnicities, and people may question it because some people have that keen sense, and some neighbors are nosy, or just some people put the word out and they may know, hey, this is a group home in our neighborhood. So this is just something to be not so much be aware of, but just some information. So here Mercedes is looking for some treatment for her daughter's bow leg, and she comes into contact with Dr. Alex Jeffrey. And they have some small talk, and he tells her, your wonderful daughter, and very doctor with good bedside manners. And then he said something to flirt with her, and they started dating. And they're dating, of course, he did not approach her like, hey, I'm this monster. He approached her very professional, and that's what she liked about him, and alleged that that's what he liked about her. So they dated for about 3 years. He was not married. Reportedly, he was not married while they were dating, but he did marry during their dating process within those 3 years. And of course, what happened was she was pregnant by him, and he actually got her to meet him one day during her 12th week of pregnancy. Initially, they thought that the ex-boyfriend was angry with her for dating the doctor and he had killed her. But the ex-boyfriend, who was the actual criminal at that time, was labeled the criminal. He was the one that had warned Merceda about dating this married man, because he was saying if the man cared about you, he would have married you instead of marrying who he was engaged with. And that later on, that woman was the one who became his wife. Now, this is alleged that why he killed her, because he was married and she was pregnant, and apparently she may not have been willing to get rid of the baby. And this is all alleged right now because he never did reveal why he killed her. But it does go to show, can you really trust someone who is not trustworthy? if she was dating this man before the wife or before the fiance and he still married the other woman, should that have continued? And he never tried to meet her family in the 3 years that he dated. And that later on, that came out. The kids, he didn't meet the kids. He just would pull up to the house and she would go out. So he never met her mom, her sister, and neither one of her kids, this 15-year-old son, 15 or 14, and then the young daughter. So those are signs to look for. He was not into her, and that just goes to show you it was just more than likely a sexual things. And it's best to treat other people the way you want to be treated. That is like one of the golden rules. One thing that I have learned is that your friends and your family will tell you to be sensible or shake some sense into you when you present a person to them. And maybe everybody should just have these check off lists. And I love this quote by Maya Angelou: when someone show you who they are, believe them. This doctor, who had been having relations with Merceda for 3 years, he brutally murdered her. He stabbed her over 22 times while he was having relations with her, caught her off guard. He left on the side of the street with her shirt pulled up, pants pulled down, and wrapped up in a blanket, just left laying out there, washed his car, got it detailed and everything, and took it back and acted like nothing had happened. And her son was able to give the police some details that his mom had left with the man in the black Jeep, or the Jeep that she had been dating him for the 3 years. But the son and the daughter never met him, so they could not even give a description of him because they never met him. But the police was able to see the black Jeep. He finally, after 5 years, because this happened in 2013, in October 2013, and then he avoided, probably, I'm not sure whether that particular state, New York, had the death penalty at that time, but he confessed, and instead of getting life without the possibility of parole, he got a 20-year sentence. You may be asking yourself, what doctor would throw his whole life away because he got a woman pregnant that he was having relations with? But this unfortunately happens to doctors, it happens to thugs that do this, it happens to regular, quote unquote, regular people do this. This is why this awareness to women need to be made so that they can be safe and their babies can be safe. If a man does not want the baby, you need to stay away from him, period. An additional part of this story is that the wife was clueless that he was even having the affair with Merceda. And Merceda's family, we need to really pray for them because it was a bad thing for them to have to memorialize her in this kind of way. It's totally not worth it. It's not worth it being with a man, whether they are married or not, or a woman, whether they are married or not, if you're going to lose your life or even to risk losing your life. And again, it goes back to treating other people the way you want to be treated, because how could this man, this doctor, throw his whole life away and hate this woman so much that he had been having relations with over these 3 years? And even to kill the baby that he made with her. Again, this is not to bring shame to anyone, but nothing is magical about being foul. If he wants you, he will want to be with you honestly and honorably. And this also goes for women who two-time men. This is something I'm sharing with you, ladies. A man knows within 3 months whether he wants to be with you or not for the rest of his life and your life. Within 3 months. Maybe it's not a good indicator, but this is what was revealed to me. Condolences to Merceda's family and loved ones for the loss of her and the baby.